Hello and welcome back to the Keyboard Road Warrior series with me, Movie Scouts 007. And this is where we play Euro Truck Simulator 2 with nothing but a laptop and its keyboard. So we had a bit of a disaster at the end of the last journey. Well, not at the end, probably 3/4 of the way through. You can see from the damage that 30% damage to the truck, which means that we have got some repairs to do before we can do anything else. So let's go do that. Let's go fix our truck and get ourselves back into fighting to fighting condition. Parking brakes engaged, idiot. So we are going right and right. So let's just keep going right. Remembering that we're in the UK and that we have to drive on the left hand side of the road. So of course. Right, our place to get repaired is around about here somewhere. There we go. Those noises are quite funny actually, which is just as well. Alright, are you ready for... Alright, how much is it going to be? Be gentle to me. 14,000. Whoa. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. 14,000. Right, let's get some sleep. Let's get some rest. Oh, what a surprise. It's raining. Right, let's pick a job up. Let's get some work. Let's get ourselves out of that financial hole. Oh, if we had done that, we could have upgraded the garage. Right, remembering we are in Southampton. So we can go to Stockholm, which is up there. Have we been to Stockholm? Or we can go to Salzburg, Brno. We've been to Brno. We've been to Salzburg. We've not been to Salzburg. Oh, hang on. We've not been to Stockholm. Let us go. Oh. God, I've actually got to select the job, idiot. Let's set that, and then let's go back and let me get that screenshot. Okay, and there we go. So we're going to get a screenshot. Okay, let's go and pick up that cargo. So, engine on, wipers on, and again, remember you're driving on the left. So, I'm getting a bit brazen about doing that. Actually, to be honest, I'll be glad when I've got the track IR and I can look. As I'm going. I can't look as I'm going when I'm driving with the keyboard, unfortunately, because I need both hands, one for steering, one for accelerating and braking. Looks like we're heading out of Southampton to get this load. Come on. You can go a bit faster than that. And that was a bit reckless, but I haven't got a load on and I'm feeling ballsy. And this is where we pick up our load. And we haven't been to this location before. One of the things I haven't mentioned is how one of the aims, is, aside from getting to level 150, is to get to 100% of the roads discovered. That means visiting all of the depots. That means driving on all of the roads. And that's possibly going to be harder to do than getting to level 50, because it's finding all those little roads and finding a reason to go to them. So let's collect our job. Okay, let's go and pick up our load. Oh, I think we've shot past it actually. I think it's in... I've done this before, it's in another part of the yard. Yeah, it's in another part of the yard. So, in fact I can see the twinkle of the little white ascending and descending rings. And there's our load. It's behind us. Right. Nope. Right. Let's angle it so that we can get in. Oh, do you know what? I'm an idiot, and I've just done some damage to my truck. No, I have. I've just not done enough for it to register as 1%. Oh, now I have. There's the load. So, hopefully that'll be the last damage we do to the truck. But knowing me, as you must do by now, that probably won't be. Right, we need to swing really wide so that we can get through this gate without hitting anything. Right, left turn, Clyde. After this blue car, we're going. And remembering to stick on the left hand side. So hopefully we should be onto a ferry, and then we'll have a rest, and then we'll drive up through Norway and Sweden. Yes, it's difficult. It's quite difficult driving on the wrong side of the road. Yes, you can't see round trucks. You can see over cars all the time, but you can't see round trucks particularly well when you're driving on the wrong side of the road, because the edge of the road is where you're sat, and you should be sat in the middle of the road so you can see the whole thing. I'm not a big fan of the rain. Do you know what I am surprised? I haven't been given a speeding ticket since I picked up the load. That's a surprise. And we're going to be left, so I'll stick to the left. And we've got 68 hours to deliver this, but the game says we're going to do it in 36. Now remember, a chunk of that is going to be while we're asleep. We're going to be travelling on a boat, so we're actually using the boat to rest, which is always good. I like that's one of the good things about travelling to the UK and back, if you're using the boat, is that quite a lot of the time, most of the time, you actually get to rest while you're travelling, as opposed to being stationary and losing that time. Alright, we've got a turn coming up here. So today's topic of conversation, I want to talk about something, I just don't know what. I made an error that I regularly make of not finding a subject before I sit down and press the record button. I kind of exhausted my topics of conversation that are free and easy. I'm free and easy to talk about. To be honest, I prefer, when I'm having a conversation, I prefer to have it with someone, and then I can bounce off them, conversationally speaking. It's much easier to have a conversation when you can exchange ideas. It helps if you have similar ideas and points of view. It's interesting to talk to people with different ideas and different points of view, but the trouble is, quite often your brain is occupied internally debunking what they're talking about. And it depends on the subject. I mean, I don't mind having a conversation with people about football or about motor racing or about any number of things. Where I have problems is having conversations with people about religion or politics, where people have a very entrenched point of view, and it doesn't matter how much evidence you present for a different point of view, they're not interested in that. They have a point of view that they're deeply invested in, and no amount of evidence or proof or carefully constructed argument will ever persuade them to change. And I can't have a conversation with someone who won't change their point of view based on evidence. If you present someone with irrefutable evidence and they still won't accept that evidence, there we go, that's more like it. I was beginning to get worried that we weren't in England anymore. Where's the speeding fines? There we are. Actually, do you know what? I've had an idea. This might sound like an odd leap. Gun control. Someone once presented to me the argument that there's no point in enforcing gun control, because then that leaves people vulnerable, because only criminals will have guns, and criminals will always have guns because they'll be able to get hold of them. So why bother with gun control laws when the criminals are always going to be able to get hold of guns? I've been so stunned by the stupidity of the argument that I've never really been able to construct a worthwhile response to that. But I did recently hear an excellent way of refuting that argument. Why do we have speeding laws everywhere when people always break the law? So what's the point in having speed limits when people are going to always drive fast? So there's no point in having a speed limit. There is a reason. The reason is very clear. Most people are law-abiding citizens. Most people. You put a law in to give. You create a sensible law to give people a sensible boundary. You give them a barrier, a point at which their rational mind can go, yep, that is where society's decided that's the limit. You know what, I'm going to try and stick to that. And most people will try to stick to that. Now, every now and again, and I'm the same myself, sometimes you forget yourself, sometimes when you're driving, your right foot gets a little heavy. sometimes you find yourself doing something you wouldn't normally do. Oh, shit. I nearly made an error there. Excuse my language. Oh, no, I'm hammered on the brake there. Oh, actually, mind you, it's nice to have the rain hammering at the cab. So you give people a boundary. You give them a point at which a sort of an upper limit. This is where you can't go. This is what you can't do. And most people will, for the most part, obey that rule. Now, with speeding, what that means is for the most of the time, people will obey speed limits. If we didn't have a speed limit anywhere ever, then people would feel entitled to do, say, 80 miles an hour, say 120k through a town centre. And even the most stupid of people would recognise that's probably a bad idea, but it wouldn't stop them from occasionally doing it. And this is my point. Nobody needs a gun. Nobody in the 21st century needs a gun. I am happier living in a society where police don't need a gun. It's one of the reasons why I prefer the United Kingdom. I kind of like the fact that they don't have guns in New Zealand as well, the police. No normal person with a normal job need ever see a gun, need ever touch a gun, need ever fire a gun. There is no need for a gun. If we make guns so difficult to get hold of, they actually will become expensive to buy. It makes it much more difficult for a criminal to get hold of a gun when such an item is so expensive. Another thing I don't think are expensive enough, and I think the way forward is to tax bullets so highly that a person would think twice. This was a joke by Chris Rock, but it's a valid point. If you made the tax on bullets so astronomically high that a person would think twice about firing a gun because of how expensive. So if you made, I don't know how much bullets cost, but I don't think they're very expensive. But if you made the tax on a bullet something like 2,000% of its value, so say for instance a bullet costs $1, it costs $4,000 to buy a bullet because of the tax on it. You can then use that tax to pay for the policing of the of gun control laws. I don't think American people it's going to take a long time for American people to get out of the idea that they're entitled to carry a gun with them at all times. At the moment, the law stands in the United States, in a lot of places in the United States, you are entitled to carry a gun at all times. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's an appropriate example to set for your children, that the only way to solve a solution is through violence. I don't think it's an appropriate I don't think it's an appropriate example to set to society. I think every person that advocates the free possession of guns is advocating. Okay, for some reason the files that I have to remove from the camera in order to carry on recording by having enough space left on the camera didn't move, so I actually ran out of space on my camera. So where was I? Oh yes, the people who advocate. Oh, I've missed a junction. I've missed a damn junction. Where do I go from here? I wonder if I can do something really naughty. That was a loan instalment. Yep, really naughty. Let's see if I can get away with it. Let's see if I can get away with it. Oh, no, no, no. Don't go there, don't go there, don't go there. Okay, this is going to be a tiny bit stressful. Ooh. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh no. There's barriers everywhere. Oh no. No, this is not working. This is not good. Oh, cripe. Ugh, no, that's not working. No! Ugh. You get... No, don't pull forward. Moron. Alright. Has it done damage? Oh, you scumbag! I'm going the wrong way. I've gone the wrong way and I've got a ton of damage and I'm pissed off. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get out of this. And I'm just driving back the way I came. Essentially, I have to find a way to get in the other direction, and it's just unbelievable. It's my own fault for driving around the wrong way, but the guy just didn't. There was no stopping. He just barreled into me. It wasn't. There was no attempt to come to a halt. I'm angry with myself because that was a silly thing to do. It was a silly thing to go the wrong way and look your cat the wrong way down that road, and there was nowhere for me to go. Right, let's see. How do I get back? Alright, what I don't need to do is I don't take this exit. I take this one. Oh no, I can't take that one. Sorry, not this one. It's this one. And that should get me back. What the hell? What the hell, dude? What the hell do you think you're doing? Really, do you think... Now where do we go from here? Yeah, we take this next one, and hopefully that should get us back in the right direction. Oh gosh, now every half an hour this one's going to be breaking down. I can't bear that. We're going to find a town and we're going to get this repaired. Have we... yeah, are we going in the right direction now? Yes, we're going in the right direction. This is good. Except we're nowhere near a town. Alright, we'll see if there's somewhere in Felixstowe to fix us. We'll see if we can get repaired in Felixstowe. Oh, it's 2 disaster videos on the trot, 2 lots of massive damage. I'm not presenting a particularly good example of driving to you guys, or rather I am showing you the way not to do it. I'm getting that's something I've not seen before. It keeps flashing at me to find a service centre immediately. I mean, given that the truck's got 37% damage to it, it's not surprising really. To be honest, I'm surprised that it's travelling as fast as it is. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, at least we're not travelling against the flow of traffic anymore. We are about to take an exit though. And so I'm going to tuck myself in over... oop, not that close. I seem to have a lot of disasters in the UK. Well, that's it. The last disaster didn't happen in the UK. I just spent a lot of my drive in the UK while suffering from it. But at Portsmouth, I had a bit of a disaster. I did have a disaster in France. I've had my share of disasters in this game. But if you don't, you're probably not playing it at all. God, that noise. Can I even be bothered to carry on talking about gun control? Yes, I can, because it's important and it needs to be talked about. It needs to be debated. I mean, my position might not be the right position, it's just a position I hold on this matter. I hate guns. Although I have a fascination with war, I have a terror of guns. I can't think of a good reason for a human being to own one in the 21st century in a country like America, where they have virtually no gun control, and every time they attempt to get gun control in, whoa. People scream about their First Amendment rights. The First Amendment is a very vaguely written, well, frankly poorly written, amendment to the Constitution of the United States, which declares that people have the right to bear arms. But it talks about a well-regulated militia. Now, there are various constitutional scholars who will tell you that it means one thing, and there are others who will tell you it means something completely different. Some will say that means that you have the right to own any kind of weapon you want. The other point of view implies that you have the right to bear arms as part of a well-regulated militia, which would by definition imply that you don't have the right to bear arms when not part of a well-regulated militia. Now that one would make sense to me, given that the Americans had fought the British British had been the government. The British had been where the government was, and they were fighting against a government not on their own shores. Then the First Amendment would make sense under those circumstances, that they'd want their people to be able to to have weapons to defend this fledgling nation. The problem is that when creating this law, the most dangerous weapon a person could own was a cannon. If one could afford one, and the cannon was beyond the financial means of the average person. We now live in an era... and a cannon also had a distance that it could throw. The average person bearing arms would bear a musket, which had a very short range and was astonishingly inaccurate. We now live in an era where people can own a sniper rifle that can kill someone from half a mile away. A person can buy a hand grenade, which is a tiny little bundle of fragments which explode and cause tremendous amount of damage. You have mortars, you have fully automatic machine guns that can fire thousands of rounds a minute. We live in a completely different world from the people that wrote that document. A very, very different world from the people that wrote that document. A world that they couldn't possibly have imagined. When they wrote that document, humans were hundreds of years away from flying. Hundreds of years away from flying. They were hundreds of years away from driving motor vehicles. Technology had advanced as far as it could without combustion, without electronics, without electricity. And the development of electricity and electronics, the development of the internal combustion engine, then the subsequent development of the jet engine, microelectronics, it's just a completely different world. And it's not surprising that the document that was written before electricity no longer makes any sense for the 21st century. A document that was written in 17... I thought I'd slowed down enough. Clearly I hadn't. We're at... Whoa. Right. The document isn't fit for purpose anymore. That amendment is not fit for purpose anymore, and it needs to be stricken from the Constitution and reworked. Now, people want their guns, and so they're going to fight that. And, of course they will. Alright, where are we going? No. Yes. Oh, do you know what we forgot? We forgot to check if Felixstowe had a service centre that we could get our lorry fixed at. That was stupid. Let's quickly... Damn it, it did as well. That would have exposed a bit more of the map to us as well. Looks like we might have to go into colding. New upgrades. Okay. We can't do that. through these gates. We're on the right hand side of the road. Whoa, what the hell? Okay. We clipped the curb, and that hoisted us into the air. But at this point, an extra 1% of damage is not going to make much difference in the scheme of things. We're going to hopefully go past these guys, because these guys will be turning. Oh, that's awful. Oh, look at the brightly coloured buildings on the right. That's interesting. I wonder what they're supposed to represent. Someone spent hours putting those in place. And we just blasted past them like without giving them much attention. Normally, of course. Alright, we've got to keep an eye out on Colding. 105. See, we have... Oh, do you know what we didn't do? We didn't we didn't upgrade our... we didn't go upgrade our garage. It doesn't have to be done immediately. We can hold on to that cash, and we can spend it at the end of this journey. I'm kind of concerned that I might need to hang on to it to cover our costs. I do hope this isn't going to be the pattern for all of my journeys in future. Okay. So where is Colding? Where's Colding? Okay, we're still quite away from it. When we do... Alright, when we've got our junction, we've actually got to take the slip road. When we are coming up to our junction, we've got to take the slip road before it, rather than getting on to that junction, so that we can get ourselves into Colding. And then we can repair. So we spent £14,000. This is going to be more, because it's more damage, I think. Okay. I'm going to pull over. And hopefully we come on that slip road soon. So we've got 105,000. The upgrade is 80,000. That would leave us with 25,000. We'll wait until... We've also got loan instalments that are going to be coming out of our account at some point during this journey, because we've still got nearly 15 hours left of drive time. So we need to be aware of that before we start spending money willy-nilly. Right, this is where we need to get that slip road, and we need to go into Colding. Now, as I understand it, we just follow that slip road and go straight. So we follow the slip road. And oops, sorry. And then we just, there's Colding. You can see it on the approaching ahead of us. It's going to be on the left-hand side. We need to take the next slip road, and we need to turn left. And see, the problem is the map doesn't have what it needs to have. If it needs to have a line to show you which is over and which is under. So the ones that go over are unbroken, and the ones that go under are broken. But I think we need to turn right and then left. So that's what we're going to try and do. As soon as this is out of our way, we're going to try that. And we're... oh no, I didn't put that on. And we're off. There we go. That's going to get irritating. Or it would if I wasn't getting this repaired. Traffic lights. Gotta hate them. You've got to hate them. So, as I was saying, there's no reason... There's no reason for those laws. There's no reason for that amendment to still exist. It doesn't make sense anymore. Again, I didn't put the parking brake on. Okay, yep, I made the right choice. There's that slip. That's that road underneath. Come on. Go. There's no need for those laws to exist. They don't. That amendment doesn't make any sense in the 21st century, because the idea was to fight an oppressive government. Well, and nowadays they talk about fighting their own oppressive government. Right? Let's get rid of our trailer and go in, because I don't want to do a U-turn in this thing anymore. I've done a U-turn in this and it failed abysmally. Oh, how astronomical is this going to be? 17,000. Well, that is a lot less than I feared it might be. Okay. I nearly went to go and get some sleep there. I nearly went to go and get some sleep, because I'm it's such a habit now to sort of go and repair, and then to go and rest, that I nearly went to rest. Okay. Let's get out of here. Let's see where the GPS decides to take me this time. Oh, I just blasted through a red light and it didn't find me. Okay. That's not the first time that's happened in recent episodes. I'm not too worried about... so we've got 44 hours to do this, and the GPS says it's going to take us 14, so we've got bags of time. 24, 25 if you include the time that we've got to rest. Oh, do you know what I've just made an error. No, I'm good. Okay. And we're okay. I think we're back on track. Good. Right. So now that our job is to get across Norway and Sweden without hitting anyone else and without doing... Oh, what the hell? Yeah, we don't want it to go to 9%. That's our... At least it's not the 15% that it was. It's still going to be satisfactory at best. Probably reasonable. I think reasonable is what we had. Ooh, our driver's leveled up. That's always good. I haven't been paying much attention to that recently. So we've still got 91,000, which is 11,000 more than we need to expand that garage. What we'll do is we'll hang on. So now we need 160. We need 163,000. 80 for the 160. Yeah, 80 for the upgrade. 80,150 for the new truck, and 1,200 for the recruitment fee for the driver. So that's our aim now. It's not going to happen this journey. We're only going to earn about... I can't remember how much the job was for. 36,000, there we go. So it's 36,000. Whoa. 36,000 plus whatever the other drivers earn for us. That's not going to amount to another 70,000. Maybe it will, I don't know, but we still need to have funds available to cover at least 2 repayments, given how long our journeys are, and given the fact that every 24 hours it takes £4,630 from our account, and we need to have enough money to cover it. Most of the jobs now seem to be happening within 36 to 48 hours, so we need to have at least 2 loan installments in our account so that we don't go overdrawn. Yeah, so as I was saying, the First Amendment won't help the survivalists that have their shotguns and their underground bunkers full of canned food when they're fighting an army in the given they keep talking about fighting their own government that has aircraft carriers, destroyers, fleets of fighter bombers, fleets of bombers, fleets of tactical bombers, fleets of stealth weapons, fleets of drone aircraft, missiles. There's no way these people are surviving that kind of attack. This is not like they're going to a strange place. They're going... it's not like the government would be attacking a strange country with a strange environment. We're talking about the United States here. There are bound to be people who know the environment that don't agree with the survivalists that will help the government to root these people out. These people stand no chance. They're morons. Morons who are good at speaking, sadly. Morons that have charisma. Morons that are quite persuasive, but morons nonetheless. It does make me giggle when they talk about protecting themselves against their own government. Their own government, the government they voted for. And even if they didn't vote for them, the majority of Americans did. So there you go. I'll tell you another thing that needs to be addressed is the American electoral system. they have a system that was put in place which made great sense given technology of the time. This thing called the Electoral College, where people vote in an electoral college, and then the electoral college is given the authority to vote on behalf of those people. Given the long distances in America at the time and the technology when the United States was founded, I've got to stop calling it America. It's not America. America's a continent. The United States is a country. It doesn't make sense. It's how George W. Bush got elected. He didn't win the popular vote. More Americans voted for Al Gore than voted for George Bush, but George Bush got in. I do wish Al Gore had had another go. If Al Gore had had another go in 2004, I very much doubt we would have got a second term of Jed Clampett in the US White House. And that could only be good for everyone concerned. Okay, so where are we? I don't know where we are on the map. Are we in Sweden or are we still in Norway? Probably more than likely we're still in Norway. Oh crikey, no, we're in Denmark, not. Idiot, we're in Denmark because we went over to SBO, which is in Denmark. We're not going anywhere near Norway. Norway's up here. Okay, let's get through this barrier. £124, that's not bad. He said sarcastically. It will be nice to be able to play this on a screen with a greater amount of detail, a greater draw distance, smoother graphics, more detail. It would be nice to be able to read the dials. I mean, I can tell, as I've already said, I can tell with the fuel. You can see the fuel. It's just there. That's the fuel. But this one here is set for fuel at the moment. But I could have it on speed. That's temperature. That's miles per hour. And I could have that set, and I could have that so that I could follow that one for the. That's kilometers an hour. I beg your pardon. That's oil. That's fuel. Doesn't matter where it is. I could have that one set for kilometers an hour, and I could have the main dial set for miles an hour, so that when I'm in the UK, I can see what speed I'm doing, and when I'm in Europe, I can see what speed I'm doing. But no, unfortunately, I'm restricted by the limitations of this laptop. So I'm enjoying playing this game. This game is an amazing amount of fun when you don't have a headache and you have crashed your truck a number of times. But there you go. That's how it is. And that's another loan instalment. So we're down to 86. So you can see why I was reluctant to upgrade. I might upgrade when we get to the new destination, and then the money is in the. It's in Berlin. It's spent. And then I don't have to worry about it. And it's a smaller number to then think about when it comes to getting the money together for truck number 8. Oh dear. I don't know what's going on in my head. Right, what we're looking for is look at that. That is a big airport. That's got to be airport for Copenhagen. We're going to start looking for somewhere to rest. at some point soon, because we've now ducked under 11 hours, which is what we'll have available to us once we've rested. And we have to rest. Well, we don't have to rest for another 6 hours, but I am running out of time on my camera, so I do have to be aware of that. And this is a long journey, and I wanted to get some water to ease my throat, because I do a lot of talking for these videos. I don't know what argument is required of a person when advocating gun control that would make sense to an advocate of universal gun freedom. I don't know what we'd have to say to them to persuade them. I think that sadly the only way is direct experience of loss at the hands of a gun. And it would have to be a circumstance where that person wasn't denied their own weapon, so that you could prove to them that just having a gun won't protect you from someone who's got a gun. I often feel that if you've got a gun, you make yourself a target. You become the first person that the wielder of the gun has to eliminate. Which is another reason why I don't want to have anything to do with guns. Anything that makes me a target makes me nervous. And having a gun, it would appear, makes you a target. So, £151. Flipping heck. Denmark's toll roads are bloody expensive. A prime example of why having a gun won't protect you is the tragic case of the National Guard soldiers that were just off duty, and had their guns with them and were sat in a pancake restaurant. I think they're called an IHOP, International House of Pancakes, something like that. These National Guardsmen all had their weapons with them. They were all just off exercises, and a gunman walked in and killed all of them. All of them had guns with them. None of them were able to react in time to shoot the gunman that shot them. And the study was done by a big American TV show where they took a number of members of the public with very different degrees of experience with guns. They put them through a training course, and then at the end of the training course, in one of the lectures, they had a fake gun attack, and each of them dealt with it. It happened separately to them. A man with blanks came into the room, shot at them. They shot back. Some of them didn't shoot back, some of them couldn't get the gun from concealment. Some of them would have actually hit members of their class rather than almost. I think nobody actually got a shot on the assailant, and this is 8 different people with 8 different. One complete novice, someone minor. There was one complete novice. They had one complete novice as a control, and I think they had one person who had a lot of experience as the opposite control, and then the other 6 were varying degrees of experience, some with a little, some with a lot, some with a moderate amount. Nobody got a bead on the assailant. Nobody. You can't, unless you are trained repeatedly, day after day, to do this. There's no way that you can be good at it. This is why guns need to be left in the hands of the police and the armed forces, people who are trained on a daily basis. People who are trained on a regular basis, not necessarily a daily basis, but a regular basis to do this, which is just not your average Joe. Going to the firing range doesn't cover all of the stuff that you have to be able to deal with. And the day-to-day experience of being a police officer, being on the firing line, is much more likely to make you much more likely to give you competence. Actually, let's double check for. We're in Sweden, and I think I've sailed past my only flipping rest stop. Okay, that's going to be our rest stop that we aim for. Hopefully, we can make it before I have to shut the video down. But irrespective of whether we reach a rest stop, I'm pulling over when I need to reset the video. So, yes, the experience gained from regular day-to-day law enforcement with the experience you gain from a job in law enforcement on a day-to-day basis. There you go. So if I pause for a second and construct a sentence in my head, I'm much more likely to get it out. It's the problem of trying to concentrate on more than one thing. This is why talking on the telephone, talking on a mobile phone while driving, even if you can get both hands on the wheel, it can be bad. It can causes a lack of concentration. So even the hands-free things add an element of danger, because you're not in full control of the vehicle, because your brain isn't in full control. Your brain is elsewhere. Okay. Slow-moving vehicles that have just joined the carriageway. So, gun control, I love it. It's one of the few areas where Piers Morgan and I agree. I think he's a douchebag, but we do agree about gun control. I would like to see the statistics, accurate, unbiased statistics about how many people have accidentally shot friends and family members and pets because they assumed they were an intruder. And how many of those shootings resulted in a death. I would like to see unbiased national statistics. And oh, I've missed an exit again. Are you kidding me? How do I keep doing this? Okay. I'm going to go to Gothenburg. And I'll drive through Gothenburg. I think that's the only way. And then we'll stop, we'll rest, because we're at 9.5 hours now, so I'm going to rest in 4 hours. Oop, no, I didn't want to do that. Ugh. Keep hitting the wrong button. I'm now doing that for most journeys. See, that'll teach me. I was getting cocky about how good I was getting at driving a couple of videos ago, and the last 2 videos I have properly screwed the pooch. You'll notice that you noticed on the map that parts of it are grey. Oh, actually, it's now, you can't see it now because the route's decided this is the swiftest way to go, which is, good. They changed the roads around here, and when they do that, you no longer have driven around on them as far as the game is concerned, and so they become grey again, which is what happened to me around Paris. When in my private profile, I had driven all around Paris, and then they made changes to Paris in order to accommodate the new cities on the north coastline, in the northern part of northern France that they've added. And so I have to now, in order to restore the roads that I've already driven on, I've got to drive on them again. In my private profile, what I tended to do was I tended to do a complete tour of the city after I had dropped my load. Then I'd go and I'd repair, I'd upgrade if necessary, and I'd sleep. And that way I got all of the city without having to revisit it. I'm not doing that on this profile because that would be incredibly boring. Actually, no, it wouldn't. Would it be boring? Because you're just you're watching me drive. So would it be boring? I don't know. I'm looking forward, as we speak, at on the last day of January 2014. Nobody has watched an entire video of mine all the way through, and I am... video 22 is up. I'm recording video 42. Video 22 is actually on YouTube as I speak on the 31st of January. So you get an idea of how far ahead I am. I've got 10... I've got 28 videos fully edited and ready for YouTube. I've got a further 14 videos which need to be edited together to make them YouTube ready. Right, so we're going to pull off here. We're going to might as well fill up with gas, fill up with petrol, and then we'll get some sleep, and then hopefully we will get to our destination without being further molested. Oops, no, I've gone too far. No, I haven't. Alright. Wow, we needed fuel. Okay, let's get some sleep. Okay, engine off. Sleep on. Okay, that's enough sleep. Right, let's get cracking. Let's get on the road. Let's get there. So, to recap this journey, we had a disaster. We crashed. We went the wrong way. Then we tried to sneak back by going on a slip road, but that didn't work out because we couldn't cross the road. Then we crashed. So we stopped, and someone crashed into us head on. So it's all going a bit pairs. It's all going a bit pear-shaped. So we did £17,000 worth of damage to the truck, which we've repaired. We're back up to £112,000 after that rest break. We've got 8 hours worth of journey left to drive, which is probably another 45 minutes. Probably another 30 to 40 minutes of video. So this is going to be a long one. This might be our first hour-and-a-half video. Apologies if that's too long. But I don't want to break these videos up. You're free to watch them in smaller chunks. I know that YouTube don't make that very easy, but I would rather not break these videos up. Each one needs to be a self-contained journey, and that's how I want to keep it. It saddens me if that prevents people from watching it, but that's how I feel about these videos. Each one is a journey, and each journey needs to be kept together. So I can tell we're in Sweden because sorry, that's a bit racist. I can tell we're in Sweden because those buildings have a feel to them that ProMods have, I think, given to the Swedish map. and that's all good. Oops. And we're heading off this road. So that, I think, is Gothenburg, which means that we're now heading across west to east towards Stockholm. What the heck? Okay, that was bizarre. You get on the slip road and you use your mirrors, and if you see nothing coming, you go. You don't sit there like a numpty. So hopefully this should be a relatively swift, it shouldn't be 7.5 hours. It speeds up as you're going faster, which is good. So we were talking about gun control, and we were talking about how stupid the Americans are, but the Americans aren't, in terms of gun control, and in terms of their desire to hang on until grim death to their guns, which is, frankly, what happens to you if you have a gun. But the Americans aren't the only people who are stupid with guns, and usually the stupidity is exacerbated by access to guns. Switzerland is a neutral nation, but it defends itself with an army, and that army is peopled by the citizens of Switzerland, who are obliged to take part in a certain amount. You silly boy. Go on. You pulled in front of me. The least you can do is go. They're obliged to take part in a certain amount of national service, which means that everybody in Switzerland is obliged to spend some time in the army. They get a gun. There are millions of guns in Switzerland. And just like the United States, where there is a large number of people holding a large number of guns, there are a large number of gun deaths. You would think that the Swiss would know better. You would think that a peace-loving nation that embraced neutrality, as they did during World War II, you would think that they should know better about guns. Now, I found the whole Swiss neutrality in World War II thing sticks in my craw. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. They're, considering the small number of population, have a disproportionate number of gun deaths. Why? It's because they have access to guns, and people who aren't regularly trained in the proper use of guns, and who aren't regularly exposed to the after effects of gun use, as soldiers and police officers are, become lazy about guns. They become stupid about guns, and then guns become a form of vengeance. Now, my feeling that I might be completely wrong, but I do believe that because police officers because police officers are exposed periodically to what guns do to people, it makes them wary of pulling their own gun unless they need to. It might be an incorrect theory, but it's a theory. Soldiers, I don't know whether there's a difference between soldiers and police officers, and whether it's because it rarely is a police officer confronted by a friend who's been shot, whereas soldiers constantly live with the fear that they and their friends will be killed, and you are just one bullet away from dying when you are holding your friend and his blood's all over you. The chances of you getting shot are quite high. So I think that does something to a person which it doesn't do to a police officer when he's seeing strangers. You're seeing a random person covered in blood. Oh, hello, that was a bit stuttery. What the heck's going on there? So I don't know, maybe. it's a working theory, and it may be complete nonsense, but that's what happens. You have a theory and then you test it. I'd like to see the statistics about gun use by police officers. I don't know. Oh, hello. That's right, pull out right in front of me and then just stop. Stop. But I don't have those statistics to hand, and I'm not a mathematician or a statistician, so I couldn't do anything with those figures even if I had them. But oh blimey, what the hell? This is not cool. Something must be running in the background that's doing this, but I don't know what it is. Okay, that's just really irritating. And, alright, we've chopped 3 hours off in 10 minutes, so my guess is that we've got another 15 to 20 to go on this particular journey. So this is, I'm afraid, going to be a long video. I apologise for that. I'm kind of running out of things to talk about with gun control, because it's kind of one of those depressing subjects. I mean, to clarify, the United States of America and Switzerland are not the only countries with gun control problems. They're not the only places where people wander around with relative impunity shooting people. I'm not, however, one of these people that advocates the death penalty for people that have killed people. I think murdering someone to demonstrate that murder is bad is pretty bloody stupid. It's very, very stupid to say, look, we're going to murder this person to prove that murder's bad. That's not how you're going to do it. It's not tough on crime, and it's demonstrated time and time again that criminals who live with the fear of the death penalty go the extra mile when it comes to ensuring their freedom. That just means more people die. So legislators that introduce the death penalty just encourage criminals to kill people. So they've kind of got blood on their hands, in my opinion. Although my opinion isn't the be-all and end-all. But gun crime is an issue. There isn't a month so far gone by where someone hasn't walked into an area and killed a load of people with guns. And I thought that the Americans were close on removing certain weapons after Sandy Hill, the Newtown school where kids as young as 5 were murdered by a gunman, a mentally ill gunman. This is an issue I think needs to be addressed, because yes, the guy at Sandy Hill would have got weapons even if the law had been changed, because his mother gave him access to those weapons. But I think maybe the law needs to go further. Maybe if someone lives in your house, has mental issues, you can't have a gun in the house. You can't have a gun in the house. You expose everyone in that house, and then everyone in their neighbourhood, to potential gun violence. So I think all guns that have to be owned need to be kept in a lockbox every second that they're not being used for a legitimate purpose. And I can't think too many reasons outside of farming that anybody would need a gun, and I can't think of too many reasons why farmers need a gun. But guns they have. I despair sometimes. But that's the way it is. That's unfortunately the way the world that we live in is that in certain countries guns are prevalent, freely available. I could fly to America, and tomorrow I could buy a gun at a gun fair, without a background check, without any waiting time. I could just buy a gun. I don't think that should be allowed. In fact, I don't think gun fairs should be allowed anywhere where you cannot control access to the weapon. For instance, gun shops should have broken display models that cannot fire a weapon, that are chained to an immovable counter, and that is how the customer experiences the weapon. They experience the weapon through lightweight cables, a cable that could hold an elephant, so that it doesn't affect the weight, so that the customers can still feel the proper weight of it. But there should be no firing pin. These things should be broken so that they cannot have the firing pin replaced, so that the weapon cannot be used as a weapon. Then I think you lower the risk for gun owners. Gun shop owners. You lower the risk of you don't have guns on the premises. The guns are delivered in a secure manner to the customer in an unmarked vehicle. Actually, no, we're getting to a situation where criminals could then target those vehicles. It's difficult. Just ban guns. No adult human being in the 21st century needs a bloody weapon. They just don't. There's no need for it. It's not cool. It's not sexy. It's just stupid. And it's unnecessary, and it's dangerous, not just to the person owning the gun, but also anybody around the person who owns the gun. But, I've possibly put off quite a number of people with this video. If you're a gun nut, I'd like to say I'm sorry, but I'm not going to, because I'm not. I don't believe that people need to own guns. I believe the First Amendment is possibly the most stupid addition to the US Constitution. Second, I think it's more stupid than the Prohibition Act. This is something that should be made clear to gun nuts who claim their constitutional rights. A constitution can be amended. The Constitution has been amended a great many times, and constitutional amendments have been stricken from the Constitution. The Act of Prohibition was enacted as an act, was put on the books. It was an amendment to the Constitution, and then it was stricken from the Constitution. So I would like to start a movement to help the people of the US by getting rid of the First Amendment. Or is it Second Amendment? Sorry, Second Amendment. I need to double check. Actually, while I was in that break, I should have double checked. Before the next video, I will double check what amendment it is that refers to the right to bear arms. Got a horrible feeling it's the Second Amendment now that have been wittering on about the First Amendment. But you should forgive me, because I'm not an American. And I'm not a gun nut, so I don't really. I've no real reason other than a desire to see handguns and automatic ones, in fact any gun, removed from the. Just the ability to kill someone from long distance without consequence just makes me sick. It makes me physically ill. But at the moment, there's nothing I can do about it apart from talk about it, and apart from to say that to shoot. Oh, of course I'm speeding. I'm speeding. I wonder what the speed limit is here. I'm surprised. I was going to say I'm surprised I'm speeding, given the damage to the vehicle. But of course, I got the vehicle repaired at Colding.
Stephen, you are so silly. You really need to think about what you are saying before you say it.
But there you go. And we're back up to 114k. We're 70k away from our target for the 8th truck. We've easily got the 80k for We've easily got the 80k for the expansion to Berlin. And then our target will be to get 144k to get together. Okay, it's English second language today. To gather together the 144k required for garage number 3. That's our next aim. Okay, so we are just over an hour away from our destination. So that's an hour in game. It's not an hour in real time. We're probably talking about 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. And then we've got my ridiculous parking skills to deal with. Before we are done, we can have a rest and a break. I had initially, when I started playing this game, abandoned my PS3. I'd kind of given it a rest, and it had sat still for possibly all of most of December, and was primarily being used to watch YouTube videos, because there's quite an excellent YouTube application for the PS3. But Gran Turismo 6 happened, and although it came out in the beginning of December, I want to say, I wasn't in a position to get it, and I discovered this, so I wasn't even thinking about it. But I'd been away from home. I couldn't really play Euro Truck Simulator 2 because I was on holiday, and we were having fun, and we were drinking and eating and being merry. Oh look, it's the Scania Centre. There's actually, around here somewhere, there's a test track where you can take your Scania or any other truck and race it around this little circuit, which is alright. It's mildly diverting. I know that a number of Scania devotees quite like it. Okay, we've got our exit coming. For our destination of Stockholm, which is where we're headed. So let's see what's coming. And for some reason, I am swinging out so wide I'm crossing the traffic, but there you go. So we've done quite a bit of damage. We've done 8% of damage to the lorry, which means we're probably going to get satisfactory. We're probably not even going to get good work. Never mind excellent. We might get what we got. I think it was reasonable, reasonable is what we got for the last load, which was, not good, I guess. Not good at all, never mind, I guess. It wasn't good. I don't think we're that bad. I think it's good work up until you get to about 10%, and then it starts to go down. We had 15, so that was bad enough. It's stuttering again. I wonder what's going on in the background. I do have an I-core, so it should be capable of performing more than one function at a time. But it's a Core 3, I think. It's not the most powerful. I will have a Stockholm is discovered. I will have a Haswell Core i7. It's what I'm aiming for. And we are doing quite well all of a sudden without driving. I wonder whether I'm going to have more trouble or less trouble when I migrate to a steering wheel. Because I'm driving a lot of I'm doing a lot of driving. I'm driving this, and I'm driving Gran Turismo 6. And Gran Turismo 6 I'm doing with a controller. So, So I'm doing a lot of driving and none of it's with the steering wheel, so I'm wondering how my brain is going to cope with that. And here we go. Let's see if we can get this in one go. No, it's not going to happen. Okay. Yeah, there's me getting a little cocky. Oh gosh, no. That's bad. Let's try and straighten out. Yes, there we go. So, handbrake on. Let's get it out of reverse, get rid of that noise, and then let's go to E. Engine off. That little last bit took us about 23 minutes, so that's approximately what I said it would. So let's hit T and see how badly we did. Satisfactory. Okay. Did we make it to level 20? Yes, we made it to level 20. Okay. So, satisfactory. 1,513 kilometers, 45 hours, 56 minutes taken, 639.8 litres of fuel consumed. Our base reward is £23,566, and 1,513 XP. Our proficiency bonus for level 19 was £6,716. Our long distance skill rank 3 delivery bonus was £3,284 and 378 XP. Our high value skill rank 3 cargo bonus was £3,284 and 272 XP. Our bonus for parking the trailer was 45 XP. The bad stuff. Our damage penalty for a percentage penalty for an 8% for 8% damage was £966 and minus 99 XP. Didn't prevent us from getting to level 20, but not good. Anyway, so our total for that journey was £35,885 and 2,109 XP. We have a profile career XP total of 43,503, and our next target is level 21, which is 47,700. So we're a master now. We're no longer a professional, we're a master. Okay. That was possibly a little bizarre and creepy, but that's the end of this particular video. If you made it all the way through, thank you very much. It's very kind of you to follow me on these. And until the next time, see you in the next video, I'll see you on the road.